and welcome to Pixel Cherry Ninja's channel. I said to myself after doing like so many streams because I was off work from this week that I wasn't going to do a stream today. I thought, sorry, I've got my phone volume turned up. That was embarrassing. I don't know if that came through. I usually have my phone on the side with just so I can see everything's running smoothly. So guys, I didn't want to do a stream, but then I kind of saw some stuff happening on the internet, and it's something that's close to me. It's close to my heart, and that is arcade. So first of all, what you're seeing here is you're seeing a Fightcade replay of Street Fighter 3 First Strike, and one of the reasons I wanted to show this game is because this place here, the Brooklyn Games and Arcade, or Brooklyn Arcade, it's one of the places in that area that's left where you can actually play CPS free on actual hardware against other people. Now, arcades are very, very special places, and as we know, over the past few years they have been on the decline. Like, you know, it's difficult to make enough money to make them sustainable, so arcades have been disappearing, and that's why I'm doing this stream. So let's just have a look at a few things. So this is the tweet that I saw. So it's Brooklyn Games and Arcade. I think that's what the business is called, but I always see it as like this arcade in Brooklyn. So closing announcement. It is with regret that we announce the closing of our shop, Brooklyn Games and Arcade, this coming March 2025. And that's sad news. You know, we're ending the year, and now the year's beginning, and an arcade is going. And I love arcades. You know, growing up, some arcades I went to, they were like a danger zone in London, right? You would end up getting robbed there because of the crowd that were there. Some arcades were a sanctuary. There was good people there, and you were safe there. But all in all, there were special places. When I grew older, you know, I kind of stopped going to the arcade. And then when I got back into competitive fighting games, I started going back to the arcade, only to realize there was still a crowd there playing these games. So just carrying on with reading the rest of it. We like to thank all of our customers for your support over the last years, and it's been greatly appreciated. We look forward to seeing many of you over the next months before closing our doors. Now, this is in the USA, so it's not something I've ever been to. It's not something it's very unlikely I'm going to be going over to the USA in the next few years or within the next 3 months. So I'm likely not going to see them. I don't really know anything about this arcade. I don't even know, like where it says at the bottom, thank you Steve at BVGNA. I don't know Steve, but when I see an arcade is closing, it makes me sad, and that's why I'm doing this stream. It's to bring a little bit of awareness to it. I'm actually a little bit tired, so it might not be a massively long stream, but you know, I wanted to get this message out there. And I was a bit gutted because I found out about this just as I kind of finalized my weekly news video. If not, I would have put this in the weekly news video. It should be in next week's news video. Hey, Anime Otaku, how you doing, man? Let's go. Good evening, PCN. Nice one there, buddy. So, Ariel Aces, the toy maker, he put this tweet out, and I haven't got all of it. I didn't expand it when I took the screenshot. So, I refuse to let yet another shop and small business go down without a fight. Esteban did not ask for this. I have offered, and we want to help rally the community around such an awesome staple of the retro and gaming scene, and he's approved. I am committing 70% of all proceeds. Okay, so the proceeds are 70% of the proceeds. Everything that you buy, so there's like a t-shirt and some stickers that you can get. It's $40. All the relevant links are in the description, guys, so do check those out. So you can get yourself a t-shirt, you can get yourself some gear, and at the same time you can support the arcade. Also, while kind of researching Brooklyn Games and Arcade, when I went to their kind of Linktree page, they've got a Patreon set up as well. Now, you can go over to that Patreon and you can contribute towards them if you like. Now, there's no pressure on any of you guys to do it. It's only if you can afford it, and this is something you guys want to do. I'm a strong believer in arcades. I still like going to the arcade. I still go to my local arcade, not as much as I'd like to, because like my friend said to me, who I actually met in the arcade last Sunday, said to me that your gaming channel is getting in the way of your normal gaming. I don't play as many games as I used to. And another reason that this particular like situation is close to my heart was I was a video games retailer from 2004, or was it 2002? I think it was 2002 to 2004. I ran for 2.5 years. It was a different dynamic then. It was the era of the PlayStation 2, the GameCube and the original Xbox. What happened was we had a lot of big companies coming in. We had GameStation, we had Game, HMV, Virgin, and then GameStation got bought by Game. And what they were trying to do is they were going on this like loss leader kind of strategy where they were hoping to really not make as much profit in order to drive out the competition. And at that particular time, if you were an independent retailer, well, it just kind of sucked for you because you had to really slash your profit margins to kind of compete with them. I had a good run for like a couple of years, but then the last kind of like year or even the 6 months, I was like, this isn't really going anywhere, and I decided to sell up and go. So there's definitely pressure on independence. I like going to see my independence. So I've got independent game store. It's not a very good game store, but every time I'm in there, I know the guys. I pop in there, they know my kids. It feels more, there's more of a personal touch there, and it's very, very good to kind of pop in there, see the guys, you know, they know my name, they know my kids. They give my kids like game merchandise, like game merchandise. Last time they gave them like Sonic hats, and my boys, this is about a year ago, they were putting the Sonic hats on and running around like ninjas with their arms around their behind their back, pretending like they're going so fast. So you don't get that with a big corporation. So this place that is closing down, guys, not only is it an arcade, but it also sells games. Now, someone kind of pointed out that it's difficult selling retro games now because the prices of all your cartridges, all your like, you know, your older kind of rarer games have shot up so much that people can't generally afford to buy them. So how is this kind of model sustainable? So Aerial Ace has come out with a great idea of 70% of proceeds. I imagine 30% is his cost, and whatever the split was, he's given up his split. However it works, 70% is a big chunk of the change to give. And he actually, in a tweet, he said he only needs to sell 1,600, which would let Brooklyn Games and Arcade run until March 2026. So it's definitely for a good cause. So I wanted to start with, like I said, CPS free. We will go into some MiSTer. I've got my arcade stick. I'll turn it on and we'll kind of knock this one out. Let's close this. Let's close Final Burn Neo, and a kind of good thing there where the game just ends. Right, so now I've got my MiSTer up, you can see. Let me turn on my arcade stick, put on my headphones, and we'll start doing some gaming. Also want to say, guys, if you go to your arcade, you can meet hot chicks like that. So, you know, if you're a dude and you're into girls, there she is looking absolutely gorgeous with that beautiful PCB in her hand. I'm not sure if she's going to be in the Brooklyn arcade. She's not even in my local arcade, but I guess I wish. And wife, if you're watching, that is just a joke. That is an AI generated image where I just put in, can you do a blonde lady with a PCB in her hand? So that is what ChatGPT or whatever the kind of ChatGPT, what is it called? Right, okay, what are we doing? Okay, whatever the ChatGPT AI is called, is it DALL-E or something like that? So, right, let's run some arcade games. And guys, the whole point of this stream is to raise awareness. You can see in the top right, there's a QR code there as well that will take you straight to the purchase if you want to make a purchase and if you're able to do so and support an arcade going out of business. So let's start with Alien Storm. Big fan of this game from Hotego. Now, okay, good. I know on some of my MiSTer, some of my micro SD cards, I've got like earlier alpha versions of core. So all of a sudden, you're going to see like a broken version of a core, and that's just a core that I would have had for testing from Hotego or possibly other developers that I speak to from time to time. But this is Alien Storm. It's a great game. It's a great arcade game, and the theme of it is arcade. So I hope everyone's having a good Saturday, right? It's a Saturday. I kind of want to play. I feel like I want to play Silent Hill. So Silent Hill 2, the remake, I want to play that. Okay, I always pick the robot. Last time I picked the lady. This time I'm just going to be the dude because I feel like the dude gets neglected, you know. I don't pick the dude enough, and he kind of looks like Elvis there. And I was excited when this game came out for the MiSTer FPGA because on the MiSTer FPGA I was really looking forward to Sega System 18 for 2 games, or 3 maybe. This and Moonwalker, but most of all Shadow Dancer, one of the greatest arcade games ever. Absolutely love it. Now my performance might be worse than usual. I am actually tired today. My wife and my daughter, they went shopping, so I had the boys, I had my mum, and you know, my daughter was like, "Dad, are you tired?" And I didn't even realise. I was like, "You know what? I am tired." She goes, "Yeah, you look tired." And I was like, "Wow, I've scheduled a stream now. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. And if I do begin to just lose my trail of thought more than I usually do, then I might be like, guys, you know, I've put the message out of supporting your local." And you know, if it's local to you, if you guys have been to this arcade, you know, let me know of your experience. What do you think of it? So they sell games. They do tournaments there, according to their Twitter page, and I'm not sure the frequency of these tournaments, but they do tournaments there. Now, guys, what we're doing here is we are, if you're just tuning in, we're looking at the MiSTer FPGA Sega System 18 core. It's a great core. It's still in beta at the moment, so it's not publicly available. To get something like this, you would need to be a supporter of Hertago. But right now, we're telling you to support your local arcade. If you can do so, you can support them. And arcades are important. You know, arcades, they're important. I would hate for all arcades to go. Like every time I go to a new place, I want to check out their arcade. I want to see what their arcade is like. So even though that doesn't happen anymore, but when we were younger, wherever we went to, I remember going to holidays to different countries and kind of like wandering out to see where are their arcades, and it was just amazing having a look at that. And you know, before the days of the internet now, so if we talk FGC, so what happens is if people meet online, and there's still offline events like say Street Fighter, but you can play online and you can come across the best people in the world. When you played Street Fighter in the arcade era, what would happen would be you would be in your area and then someone would say there's another really good player in this area, and then just through like local people you'll go and match and you'll kind of head off to their area. So you would then go and, okay, let's have a look at this one. This is a classic. So you would hear that, okay, you know, in an area 10 miles from me, we've got a friend that lives in this area and he knows this guy who's amazing at Street Fighter, who's got an amazing dowsing. And what you'd end up doing is through proxies, you'd end up meeting, because people would want to see, you know, can my friend beat your friend? Because my friend beats everyone in our social circle. Is he going to be able to beat everyone in this other social circle? And it was very, very interesting. Here, Anime Otake, I kind of had you, when I saw you in chat, I was like, you know what, let me put this on because I know you like the Alien versus Predator, because you have an AVP themed arcade stick. And, you know, hurrah to that. An absolute gem of a game, guys. If you're just tuning in, this is a stream to raise awareness for an arcade that was due to close, but members of the community are raising awareness. And if you were to buy, let me see if I can bring up a page of that t-shirt while we do that intro. So let me have a look. I've got a web browser open here, so let me open some stuff up. I want to see if I can bring up a web browser with the actual t-shirt that you can get for supporting them. Okay, here's a link. Okay, it kind of come up straight away. Right, okay, so let me add a browser to OBS. Bear with me, guys, doing stuff on the fly here, and I should have, no, okay, no, that's wrong. And okay, excellent. Right, should have it soon. Here we go, guys. So this is what you can get. So if you go to Artistic Pixels, which I think is Ariel's website, where there's a lot of stuff that's sold, you can get this Brooklyn. So if you do follow the links that are in the description, this is effectively what you can get. You can get Brooklyn VGS vintage t-shirt. You can pick your size, Holo 3D effects sticker set. And let's kind of go on here and just click on the other pictures to see what we can get. Okay, that sound is quite loud. Let me just turn that down a little bit. So you can get some stickers as well to stick around. And more importantly, you're kind of supporting the arcade, but at the same time, you're not just giving, you're getting something back. So this goes for $40, whatever the postage and everything is. Yeah, you can get some cool stickers, you can get some cool merch. So support your local, guys. Can't encourage it enough. And if we go over, hopefully, that's Brooklyn Video Games. Let me find Brooklyn Arcade. So Brooklyn Games and Arcade, right? Okay, let's have a look at this. And we can see over here, this is their Twitter account, Brooklyn Games and Arcade. Buy and sell of video games and consoles, DM for estimates, weekly tournaments, store hours, Monday to Friday. Okay, that's nice. So Monday to Wednesday, 5 to 10 p.m. Okay, so I imagine these guys may even have like day jobs, and they're kind of doing this stuff as a hobby in the evening with arcade and like a gaming store. Thursday to Saturday, 5 p.m. till 2 a.m. Wow, that's rather late. So I imagine it's quite a buzzing place with events happening. Sunday at 12 to 5 p.m. Okay, so that's that. Let me get this browser off your screen, guys. But again, very, very interesting. And I always say support your local weekend. Yo, J-Rose in the house, man. How you doing? I love the good cause for the stream. Arcades everywhere really need to be preserved and remain open. Oh, absolutely, man. And when I saw this, like I was truly gutted earlier, man. I was very, very much so gutted because I couldn't squeeze this. I didn't get this in time in order for me to be able to squeeze this into the weekly news video. But you know what? Here we go. We're doing the stream instead. Let's give this a quick blast and then we'll cycle through some other stuff. I won't really do my buttons unless I feel like I really need to. Hopefully buttons are okay. Hopefully I did use this controller last time. Yo, Dr. Johnny Bananas is in the house. Yeah, AVP is fantastic, man. Such a graphical achievement, man. Just looks absolutely great. And it's, I mean, I never really played this. I don't think I played this in the arcade. I think I might have seen this in the arcade, but I never played it in the arcade. So but again, just an amazing game, and arcades are just a magical place. I take my kids to the arcade, man. So there's Free Play City. I'll give them a shout on the weekly news show, and yeah. So I take the boys there, but the boys have been there a couple of times. They're like, Dad, we don't want to go. We don't want to go arcade again. You know, I mean, they've got like Initial D there. They've got Outrun 2. They've got like Rambo. They've got different like gun games and rhythm games there. They played them. They had a good time, but they're like, nah, Dad, we're all right now. We've seen it now. We don't want to go there again. So I was like, okay, so you know, once in a while I do pop there with my friends, and it is nice. And do you know what? Above everything, it's the people that make the arcade. You know, like, so when I went with my boys, I'll be honest with you, I was rather bored because I like going arcade to play fighters and against other humans. Unfortunately, there was no one there playing the fighting games. Out of the fighting games I have in my local arcade, there's Street Fighter 3 Third Strike that I like playing, as well as Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. But there wasn't anyone there playing, so I couldn't really get into, you know, you can only play the CPU so much, and it's boring, right? You know, compared to playing against an actual human. But you know, the last time I went there on Sunday, it shuts at 8 on a Sunday, and I got there for about, I think, 6:15. And we had like an hour and 45 minutes there. I met like one friend, and he brought along, or he invited another friend, and I invited another friend. So there was 4 of us, and it was good even numbers. So it just meant with all the machines there for fighters, we just had constant battles, man. We were playing constantly for like a good hour and a half. So that was superb. All right, okay, let's run something else. Do let me know if you've got any requests. But you know what, something I do want to see, and I love doing resets on this, because when I do a reset, I get a chance to look at Ranny Snice's wallpaper. And even though we're talking arcade and we're talking preserving the arcade does sell games, which means while we're on the theme, we can run some stuff. So I really like some of the Billy Time Games hacks, but I've not tried any. I've covered them on the channel like quite a few times. But I always wanted to try them. So I've got all the Billy Time hacks, and I made a folder called Billy Time Games. Here we go, Billy Time Games. And so we got Bare Knuckle 3 XP system. What else have we got? Super Street Fighter. What's this one here? Okay. Oh, Evil Ryu, Modern Tiger Knee. Okay, that's interesting. So Tiger Knee will be a Dragon Punch with kick. But I wanna have a look at one of the XP system ones. So let's have a look at Streets of Rage 2. XP system. Now, I have no idea what I'm going into, but what this effectively does is your character levels up in the manner you would level up in an RPG. Now, it's a bit weird because I'm using an arcade stick, and I actually prefer playing this game on like the 8-bit dual controller. I prefer playing the Streets of Rage games on a controller, but you know what, let's go. Like Streets of Rage 2 is like the best in the franchise. I like 4 as well. I like 1. You know what, I don't mind 3 so much either. Great soundtrack, big shout out to Yuzo Koshiro, the legend that is. So guys, if you're just tuning in, this stream is to bring awareness. If you can see on the top right, it's to save the arcade. Now this is a non-monetized stream. I wanted you guys to watch it without any interruption. So I'd really appreciate if you guys could tell me, have any adverts kicked in? Because if any adverts have come at any point during the stream, it's YouTube pushing those adverts. I have chosen to have adverts off, so as far as I know, like, there should really be no adverts. There should be not even a single advert up here. So yeah, do let me know. Right, let's try this and let's see what the XP system does. I'm very much so intrigued. I'm hoping my buttons are good with this controller. Let's go Axel. So again, really like the Billy Time Games hacks. So let's have a look. Oh no, that's special. Okay, so where's my jump? Where the heck is my jump? I haven't got jump configured here. Okay, got special. Oh, hold on. Okay, jumps here. All right, I'll have to make do. I'll tell you what, this feels good on an arcade stick. I haven't really played this on an arcade stick before. Okay, I've got, like, so if we're talking Street Fighter buttons, light kick is my punch button, but hard punch is my jump button. So come on, I want to see the level up. Nice. Okay, I want to see what happens when I level up. Is the leveling up just invisible? Is there like some cool animation that says, you know, you've leveled up? You know, like Alucard in Symphony of the Night. All right, we might go back to arcade games after this, guys. Give me a shout on arcade games. I can likely play most of them. There might be a few that I can't play at the moment, but most of the arcade games I can play. I'm good playing them. Ooh, okay. Oh, hold on. I heard a sound there. I don't know if that was like a level up sound there or something. But there'll be some games with the Billy Time game hacks that if you found them very difficult as a kid, the XP system should make it easier, because as you progress you will get more powerful, therefore making the later game you know, somewhat easier. We can also look at Neo Geo games as well. To be honest, we can look at anything. This place sells games, and as well as sell games, it has an arcade inside. So that's why we started with Fightcade, and a nice CPS3 replay from some of the best players on Fightcade. Okay, I'm gonna exit this soon, as we kind of get past Jack over here. Hit the road, Jack. Getting confused with the buttons here, guys. I put myself in a sandwich. Oh, look at that. Just when I got a chicken egg. Right, let's run with something else. Oh, Shin Kuri Senkei Gundam Wing Endless. Okay, Super Famicom, yeah? All right, let's run with that. Let's run with the Super Famicom core. Wicked. Hopefully I've got that on here on my ROM set. Hey guys, if you're just tuning in, this is, I wouldn't exactly call it a charity stream. It's a non-monetized stream, so you shouldn't be getting any adverts. It should just be, oh, wicked. Nice. Thank you, Scott, for confirming that. We're just raising awareness of Brooklyn Games and Arcade that isn't, well, they were going to close in March, but we're trying, hopefully, so they don't close. Ariel Aces has said 70% of proceeds of like the t-shirts and the sticker packs will go to the arcade, which means if they sell 1,600, they can run till, instead of March 2025, another year, March 2026, right? Another year is good, and I guess we can see where we'll be a year from now. So I ran update all before doing this, which I usually do. Hey Spitfire RAF, good evening to you as well, buddy. So I usually just run update all for good measure. Now I know the SNES core got updated with the normal vanilla version. I know people had issues with it, and hopefully all those issues are gone. So Shin, okay, which I imagine, okay, let's go to SH. Wow, there's a lot of games with the word super in there, man. Shin, okay. Oh no, Sin. Where are we? What's the second word? I have to look at it. Okay, Shin Senki. No, okay. Am I completely missing it? No, sorry, bud. It looks like I don't have that game. So while we're on the Super Nintendo, let's just go for Street Fighter Turbo. Now, I'll probably have to do the buttons for that. So, no, Street Fighter. Okay, because I really did like Street Fighter on the Super Nintendo, you know? The Mega Drive and the Super Nintendo. Alpha 2, from what I remember, wasn't great. But hey, we've got Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Great game. Again, okay, we'll have to do buttons. So let's do define SNES buttons. Oh, okay, so, okay, I think I've kind of got it right. I don't know if I want to save it actually, because I usually have a SNES pad or a pad similar to a SNES when I play. Oh, did you see it there, man? Sorry. Shin Kido. Okay, we can run that after, man. Remembers this, guys? When this came out, man, it was a reason to bunk off school and play this. It was superb. You had the World Warrior, and then you had this one. It was fantastic. So, guys, if you're just tuning in, check the links in the video description. There's some useful information there. Wow, look at this, man. So different to like the arcade version. I mean, it was amazing to have, but look, one of the things was when you walk back, you don't have that kind of backward stance animation. Feel like I'm using a small stick, and I have a lot of difficulties on one player side on a small stick just because of the lack of room on the left. I'm using an 8-bit dull wireless one. I really like that one. I've got a really good stick from Pixel Memories as well, man. It's fantastic. A nice little blanker stick, man. Customized like with PC and stuff on it. So, okay, right, so it was called Shin Kido. Okay, let's try and find Shin Kido now. Shin. Okay, where are you, Shin? Well, I think we're going to get to it soon. Shin, here we go. Okay, cool. Wow, a lot of games with Shin. Yo, Scandal UK channel member in the house. How are you doing, man? This is a stream. Oh, you know what? I want to avoid any copyright struck. Mind you, even if the the ad revenue shared, I don't actually have any, this isn't monetized, so we're kind of good. So I can take a chance with soundtracks where they're not copyright strikes, it's just a share of the revenue. Okay, well, I've still got the buttons set like Street Fighter, so oh, it's the people inside the mix, right? We want someone that looks like this in here. Who looks like that? Support your local arcade, because that's a great place to meet ladies. Okay. Okay. Close enough. Yo, Gerald, which port version of Street Fighter is your absolute? Oh, okay. So, do you know what? Now, right, most recently, I've been playing the arcade versions. So now the arcade ones are my favorite. You know, whether it's Champion Edition, Turbo. I really like. I know it's not a favorite pick for everyone, but I like 15th Anniversary Edition, Hyper Street Fighter 2, not Hyper Fighting, Hyper Street Fighter 2, and I like the PS2 version for that. It's got the 3DO soundtrack on it. It's great. Oh wow, okay. Oh wow, okay. Interesting. I like this game because all of a sudden I'm doing all right. I'm spamming directions and stuff, but wow. I would have liked this back in the day. I just never really been into Gundam, apart from, like, you know, the robots look really, really cool. Like it, like that grab there, bro. She's way too fun for most of us. Hey, Ryan is in the house. How you doing, Ryan? Wicked, wicked. So guys, we are trying to save Brooklyn Games and Arcades because I love arcades, and whenever I hear an arcade is going, or it's closing, or it's on its way to close, I just feel very, very sad, because they are great places. Places I hung out as a kid. When we were kids, we had lots of arcades. We even had stuff, we had the arcade machines in convenience stores and whatnot. So yeah, we had a lot of arcades, very, very special places. It's different dynamics now. You know, my kids, they're not fans of arcades. They're like playing Minecraft. They've been enjoying like the free games that Epic's been giving away. So they've been giving away, so they've got Hot Wheels, they've been playing that. Super Street Fighter 2 on the SNES was a game which taught me that I was terrible at beat 'em ups. Yeah, see the term beat 'em up, I always get corrected. People say you should say fighting game, but if you're old school, gaming magazines refer to fighting games as one-on-one beat 'em ups, and that's why I'll always refer to them as that. So keep arcades open, bring your kids. Oh yeah, man, I bring my kids there, man. I'll probably force them to come again. I'll be like, well, it's either arcade or like you're going to your mum's here, you know, your auntie, where like there's a great auntie with a giant mustache that's going to give you that wet kiss and it's going to torment you forever. So they might come, but I've got a good deal with my local arcade. I give them a plug on every Saturday. I give them random plugs on live streams, and you know, I don't take the Berties there. But if I want free admission there for me +2, they kind of sort me out. So that's a nice deal for Free Play City. I genuinely like the place as well. I like the people there, a very, very friendly community. I like the younger generation of like the Street Fighter 3 players. It's a good place to go. So very, very nice. And it's like a 10-minute drive from me, man. And it's a 10-minute drive. You know, provided there's no traffic. If there's like a football, like I live, you know, I live near some football zones. I have to drive through some football zones to go there. So if there's a football game on, forget about it. Don't even bother going there. Anime Otaku, this game is badass, man. Like it, I like it a lot. This is the kind of game I would have loved to have played this 2-player, but I think we need to go off SNES. It just, I think we need to go to some arcade games. So guys, if you're just tuning in. Little tweet here from Ariel Aces, save the Brooklyn Arcade. They're selling some t-shirts which are, let's see if I can, oh okay, oh yeah, here we go, the t-shirts here. Let me bring that up. Sorry, I've got so much stuff open. Here you go. So if you want to save the arcade, the link's in the description. You can go over, spend $40 on buying this t-shirt. You get some nice Panaz stickers with it as well. And you know, you can save an arcade from essentially going out of business. So it's completely up to you. They're not asking for money for absolutely nothing. However, if you do want to support them on Patreon, you can. Links are down there in the description. So let's have a look, man. Like when you look at the arcade games, the vast majority of them are from Hatego, man, and that's why I respect Hatego's work, like, you know, a heck of a lot, a heck of a lot. Like, I really, really do respect his work. You know, a lot of my favorite childhood arcade games are there because he's brought them over to FPGA, and you know, he's not slowing down. I think currently Gradius 2 looks like it might be out in a few days by the end of the year, so that'll be interesting. I like the Gradius games. They completely destroy me, they're difficult, but I absolutely love them. So let's have a look. Oh, let's go a little bit older. We're gonna go elevator action, and a big shout out to Anton Gell, man, a fellow Brit that is living in the USA. So elevator action now. This Taito System 1, a tiny bit before my time, before I was going in the arcades, but I still appreciate some of the games on this system, and I definitely appreciate Anton Gell, man. He's a good developer and a good guy all around. And I know this is like the biggest game on this system. A lot of people really like Elevator Action. Elevator Action Returns, if you haven't played that, that's a game well worth playing on the Sega Saturn core. It's really, really good. I can't recommend it enough. It's on the Taito F3 arcade system. And who knows, maybe we'll get that arcade system one day. Let's have a look. Let's go back out to core. And let's run some games. Okay, so you know what? There was a game I really used to like it in the arcade, but I don't think it's that good a game, and it is out, right? It is out. It's where are we? Street. Ah, here we go. Street Smart. Right. So this was a fighting game, but it was really, really weird. You could only pick out of a few characters, but I remember looking at this in the arcade, and it was eye candy at the time. It looked really, really good. A lot of people played this game. Naturally, I think this was out like before Street Fighter, because once Street Fighter came out, people generally stopped looking at a lot of the fighting games. They just sunk all their money to Street Fighter. There were people that played a lot of the SNK games as well. I just wish I played a lot more of the SNK games when I was younger. I just never ever did. Yeah, so I think you could be. It's almost like a beat 'em up fighting game. You know, like it was fun to play in the arcade. I enjoyed it in the arcade, but honestly, in hindsight, I don't think it's the greatest of game. You know, when I played it now, I didn't have the love for it I did as a kid. But it was an interesting game. Like back then, it was a good game to have a look at. Oh, okay, you know, good question. Because I was feeling tired, I drank half of it before the stream. So today I bought 3 cans of Rockstar. So I then like. One was like watermelon and kiwi, the other was strawberry. This one here is blueberry, and I've got about 20% left. Let me take a little sip of it now. But yeah, the Rockstar is blueberry. Thank you for asking, Scandal. But yeah, we had Street Smart in a few places in the arcade. Can't say it was the greatest game out there, but it was good for the era it came out in. So what have we got? We got Sunset Riders. Sunset Riders is another good arcade game, but it's something that I played on the Super Nintendo. So, but I don't know it well enough to know the differences, because often, like on the Super Nintendo, like corners would be cut because of the limitations of the Super Nintendo compared to the arcade hardware. So they would be like, okay, we can't fit this in, we can't fit that in. And you know, if you knew a game well, you know, at the arcade, you'd spot the difference like immediately. You know, I remember like Magic Sword, like really used to like that game in the arcade. The SNES version just, it's decent, but it feels a little bit off. And you had that with a lot of the arcade ports. I feel like the Mega Drive did a really, really good job with bringing a lot of those Sega games over from the arcade onto the Mega Drive, even though it was the diet version, but they felt very, very true to the arcade. You know, we're talking like stuff like Golden Axe was an E-SWAT as well. And some of them were just different, like Shadow Dancer was a completely different game on the Mega Drive than it was on in the arcade. So and the Mega Drive version for the whole part's really good. I do like in the Mega Drive version of Shadow Dancer, where when you want to unleash your dog or your wolf at the enemy, you hold down the button and then you charge that fire and you let go, and the dog will go and attack them. Whereas in the arcade version, it's down and attack, and the dog will go for them. Now sometimes your dog will die because you mean to do like a down and shuriken, but your dog will go for them, but it's like one of the guys with the shield, so he'll end up attacking your dog and your dog will die. So that's what happens. Yo, Appley in the house, man. How you doing, guys? Check out Appley's Twitch channel. They stream on there, and they stream a lot of MiSTer FPGA stuff. Good to have you in here. What we're doing today, guys, we're trying to raise awareness to Save the Arcade. So there's a link in the description where you can buy this. You can buy a t-shirt, and if you buy this t-shirt, you get some stickers with it as well. You're contributing towards saving the arcade. Aerial Aces did the math, and it's 1,600 he needed to sell in order for the arcade to survive until March 2026. So that gives us 1 year and a quarter, and hopefully the arcade will keep going from strength to strength. It's a place that does tournaments, it sells games, and it's got arcade machines in it, man. I just like going arcades. Like I remember I take my kids to this bowling alley. It's for Finsbury Park. It's called Rowan's. It's an arcade I used to go to when I was a kid. And they like going there because they like playing the air hockey. When I took them there for air hockey, they had Super Street Fighter, not Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, but Super Street Fighter. Let's just run another game. So, oops. So, let's go. Well, let's, you know what? Another really good game here. This is a fantastic game. So, they had like a widescreen version of Super Street Fighter, you know, without the supers, and yeah, and even though I was there with my kids, and my kids were playing like the air hockey, and they were playing some light gun games. And this one, you put money in everything you play. It's not like the arcades, the way arcades are now. You're kind of paying admission fee, and then everything else is free while you're in there. Now, yeah, I was hanging about there. You know, there was other parents in there, and I was playing one player on this washed out screen with lag. In widescreen Super Street Fighter, and I was just hoping someone came along. Even though it was a terrible way of playing it, I was so hoping that someone came along and said, oh yeah, you know, I used to play this back in the day, and yeah, you know, we ended up playing some games. But you know, I put my credit in. I lasted like, I don't know, 3 or 4 fights, and yeah, no one challenged me, and I was like, okay, this is dead. It's not happening. It definitely would have been nice to have that happen. You know, you kind of hope you go to an arcade one day, a random one, and someone challenges you. But yeah, it didn't happen. So this is R-Type Leo. This is on the IRMM92 core by Wicker Wacker, a fantastic core. And hopefully there's an arcade machine in there somewhere. But if you don't have the arcade machine, the MiSTer is fantastic. You know, I know MiSTer Add-ons does like a MiSTercade, where you know, you can, I think it's something to link up 2 arcade machines to one MiSTer. I don't have it. I know it's a very, very popular item that he's kind of designed, and he's got, but R-Type Leo's good. But let's go to the Neo Geo core. Now, I haven't got my Neo Geo. So there's a script that you can get from a friend of the channel called Funky Coach Ice. Cool guy, nice guy. He's done this script where it puts Neo Geo games in the arcade, which if you see Neo Geo as an arcade console, or an arcade machine rather than a console, then it might be an option to run that script. And that script as well, it will grab all the unstable versions of the core. So, you know, whatever Saturn new one comes out, will grab it, and all your Neo Geo games will be in the arcade, which I think's fantastic. So, Magician Lord, I find that game to be quite a tough game. But we'll run it. We'll run it and we'll do it. It's a good game. I remember looking at it in magazines, seeing it at the time, and thinking, you know what, this game looks, yeah, it looks good. So a big shout out to Furtek, man, and his amazing work on this core. Very, very good. And you know, Neo Geo games were in the arcade. We had Neo Geo games in the arcade over here in the UK. I remember seeing Art of Fighting. That was one that was Art of Fighting was around everywhere. Then we had like a lot of the King of Fighters in some of the bigger arcades. Now I remember when going to play stuff like Street Fighter, or even stuff like Avengers and Alien Storm. I remember like the King of Fighters, it was very, very competitive, but at the time I used to think the animation just was very, very funky. It almost felt like cardboardy. I definitely appreciate a lot more. I definitely appreciate the SNK games a lot more, but I was more of a Capcom guy. We had that. Yo, Vel178, how you doing, man? Good of you to join us. Hope you've been well. Hopefully the Neo Geo buttons are in a good state. Okay, jump here. Okay, that'll do. Very good art style in this. Like, this is a game I really wish they brought back as a Metroidvania. Would be really cool. That one with a stretching attack. Yeah, it is. I've made an intro. I've made a channel intro of this game, you know. You know, the 4-second intro with with the soundtrack from Bloody Wolf. Wow, just jumped on that thing down there, man. Oh, what? In the same place? Right, let's... You always like games when you crouch and you go between the corners and you can turn. There's some games where you have to go up and turn. You can't go diagonal to diagonal. Wow, almost like Altered Beast. There you go. I remember that's the intro I've got is this monster blowing the fire. I use it from time to time. Very, very good character design in this, man. The enemies just look superb. Okay, that's weird. Sometimes moving diagonal down when you're walking just carries on walking. You need to go down before you do it. Interesting. Always like it when you could jump and go up the ladder, you know, that way. Oh, wow. Nice. Ninja. Nice. Very, very nice. I think someone's bringing this game over to another format. Was it PC Engine or a different format anyway? Okay, we are out. Right, wicked. Let's run another Neo Geo game, man. Let's look at the classic Metal Slug with all its glorious slowdown. Hey guys, if you're just tuning in, welcome to the stream. We are raising awareness where there's an arcade that is in financial trouble, but you as a gamer can help. And what you can do is, if you want to buy yourself a t-shirt, an arcade branded t-shirt, you get some Hollow Effects nice shiny stickers that you can stick anywhere. There's a link to where you can go and buy this in the description of the video, and yeah, you'll be supporting it. 70% of the proceeds, which I'm pretty sure is like the entire profit, maybe even more, from Aerial Aces will go towards the arcade. 1,600 of those, and the arcade can last another year. Instead of closing at March 2026, it'll be able to run up until instead of closing March 2025, it will go on until March 2026. So just trying to do my bit in the community, because when I saw that, I was like, yeah man, arcades are the way. So videos non-monetized as well, so like Scott confirmed earlier, there's no adverts, which is superb, man, which is superb. So I leave them monetized. I usually leave it on there to get adverts after, like on the replay, because as much as I get the live stream, if it's depending on what the live stream is, it often gets a lot of views after. But even I feel like with live streams, it's kind of, unless I'm showing something that's very, very exclusive, it's one of those things where you kind of had to be there, you know. In I think yesterday's stream when we done Game Boy Advance, we had a look at Metal Slug Advance, which wasn't bad for the whole part. I love the animation for the flamethrower in this. It just looks so good. Look. You almost want to don't get the heavy machine gun for the helicopter that you fight, you know. Absolutely superb. Guys, I hope everyone's having a good Saturday night. Like I always say, you know, like there was a time where Friday, Saturday night meant going out there, you know, mingling, DJing, partying, you know, all that good stuff. But yeah, now I stream games on a weekend, man. I I'm getting to my friend's restaurant again, man. The guy's so awesome, always inviting me. Like, he was actually supposed to come around to mine, but I know he's busy during this period, so he's like, come around. So I was like, yeah, man, I'll see you tomorrow. So my family love the food from this restaurant, so it'll be a nice day. It'll be a nice day out. Plus, I like seeing my friend, man. He's such a nerd. He's like a couple of years older than me, but we're from the same era, so you know, we're really into our retro gaming. The guy's got an Analog Pocket. He doesn't have a MiSTer. Analog Pocket and the Steam Deck are his main go-to machines. He's the guy that gave me the PVM last time that I used, man. In fact, I should actually just turn that on just so I can have a little bit of a look at it while I'm playing. So let's run another game. Let's do. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good game, Vel. Let's do that one. That's a shmup, right? Andro Dunos, from what I recall. So let's have a look at that. And guys, in between, I'm just going to keep putting this up so you know what you're getting. Here you go. You can support the arcade by buying their t-shirt, getting some stickers, and the funds will go towards supporting the local arcade. And remember, when local arcades are there, you can meet some hot ladies like this carrying your PCB while you game. Okay, let's run this. Okay, so has it got like a Nemesis Gradius style power-up system? I saw like the 4 boxes there. That's interesting. I could not imagine trying to run games, arcade shop in New York City. Do you know what? I imagine, Erkman, that New York City, I know from what I understand, it's like London, right? Everything's expensive. So I imagine, like, unless you've got a property on freehold, I can imagine like rent rates, everything being very expensive. So in order just to kind of survive, just the minimal overhead you've got before you go into profit, I imagine would be quite high. So, oh, okay, you can change your weapons. Interesting. Oh, and you can charge your shot as well. Interesting. You know, I don't ever remember playing this game. I must have played it. I have to say the graphical style is very different for a Neo Geo game. Very different. Do you know a game that I really like? I think my favorite shmup on the Neo Geo is let's look at it right now. You're probably going to guess what it is. It's this one here, man. This one's wicked. Soundtrack, fantastic. Really good game. So guys, have a look at the top right. Gives you a little idea of what this stream is about. I know if you're watching it from the beginning, I'm probably sounding like a broken record, but this is more for the people that kind of come in mid-stream and they're watching out. So we're raising awareness to an arcade that is potentially closing down in March 2025, and we're doing what we can to kind of keep it going, right? I don't. The funny thing is, I don't even know these people from the arcade, man. I've only ever seen them on Twitter. I've only ever seen their accounts. So, but you know, it's an arcade. It's closing. It makes me sad. That's why I'm doing it. Everything's at face value, which is arcade closing, no good. Retro gaming, love arcades, want them to survive. Yo, Chris's retro gaming is in the house. Captain Tomaday, is that a Neo Geo game or is that some other game, man? What is that? Is that a game you're requesting, Chris's retro gaming? Because you know you'll get any game you want, man. Guys, Chris's retro gaming is awesome. He's known as Terminator 2K2. He's someone that has contributed a lot to the FPGA gaming community, whether it's MiSTer, whether it's Analog Pocket. You know, this guy has taught guys out there that are now developers that have developed cores how to work on stuff. The guy is just really awesome. All right, yeah, no worries, man. Chris, we can do that after. He's taught me a lot of stuff. Guy is just really good. Very helpful. Very helpful, and just you know, really cool to kind of like meet you when I started covering FPGA gaming. Soundtrack's good. I want to turn it up a bit because I really do like the soundtrack for this, especially that da da da. Sounds like Chocolate Boy. Right, let's go.
Get ready.
Yeah, that's so good. The way it kind of, the third part goes into like an off key, it's amazing. Yeah, I think this is my favourite shmup on the Neo Geo, without a doubt. Such a great game, great graphics, great soundtrack, just You know, what is there not to like about this game? And the thing is, it's not something I played on the arcade. I think it's something I played on emulation, and I liked it a lot. And when I got the MiSTer, I was like wicked, and played it again on the Analog Pocket. There might be some nice surprises happening for the Analog Pocket. You know, there's some really good stuff in the works for it, man. But honestly, I can't even speak about it, right? I can't even mention it. It's in the utmost confidence, but you know, there might be a nice surprise on New Year's Day. I'm you know, I can't say more because it may not happen. But there's some really interesting calls for the Analog Pocket, and I'm genuinely excited about it, and some other people will be excited about it as well. And yeah, some good stuff for the MiSTer as well. You know, if I wasn't doing this stream today, I was planning on doing a video just having a look at what FPGA platforms we've got coming in 2025. You know, what's the kind of look ahead? A bit of speculation, some educated guesses, and you know, what will existing companies that have existing products, how will they kind of you know, launch stuff out there in the future? What can we expect? Maybe I'll do that video tomorrow if I get a bit of time, or I might just take a bit of time off tomorrow because I'm going to go to a restaurant, unless I do that video in the morning, which I can seem to do these days because my wife seems to wake up early now, whereas I would have to wait for her to wake up. I don't have to do that now. She's up, and she's up and at 'em just after 7 o'clock, and I'm up at 7 o'clock. And do you know who else is always up early? Big Al. Before I look at anything, Big Al's there, and he's already typed the message at 7 a.m. before I even start looking. So I'll be up at 7 tomorrow. I've got work on Monday, 2 days of work, a nice bank holiday off, and then Thursday, Friday again, and then back to the work routine, man. Yeah, Spitfire RF, love the Pocket, man. Absolutely love the Pocket. I just hope I don't love it less when a MiSTer handheld comes out. I can't see myself loving it less. I like the form factor. I like that it's like a Game Boy. That means a lot to me. Right, what game did Chris want? Captain Tomaday, Captain Tomaday, Captain Tomaday. Have a day, have a great day, Captain Tomaday. Almost sounds like a war veteran or something. You know, what was that? There was Captain Tom or something. The guy that died, it was famous on the news over here. He'd done a lot for charity. Yeah, Chris, I just read your thing. Yeah, I don't think Al sleeps, man. I think sometimes when I'm up late, he's up and around, and if I'm up early, he's up early as well. So, guys, as we watch this intro, which is fantastic, please remember, support your local arcade. Wherever your arcade is, you know, how can you support it? Well, you can go there and play some games and pay their admission and spend some money there. It's important. I know for some of the younger people, they don't understand why I love the arcade so much. I grew up in the arcades, from one arcade to another, going to different venues with arcades in them. So it means a lot to me, and that's why it always makes me sad when you hear that they are closing. You know, support your local arcade, and supporting your local arcades will land you a hottie like that, guys. I really wish that was the case, because if it was, wow, I would have had the best teen years of my life. That is an AI generated image, but wow, is that getting good. Captain Tom, that's the guy. Hey, nice one. And before we give this a blast, guys, remember, if you want to support the arcade, you can buy yourself a t-shirt to support the arcade, and you get some stickers with it. If they manage to sell 1,600 of these, guys, they will be in business for another year. So they won't close March 2025, it will be 2026. If the daughter steals the charity money with a spa at home, wow. Is that what happened? Did the daughter steal the money or something? I just remember seeing the guy on the news, you know, and he was held like a hero. I remember seeing some stuff on like a news feed, but I never bothered clicking on it, you know. Okay, look at that, man. He's got the magic hand or magic fingers. I think Chris's Retro Gaming, you like this game. I'm pretty sure you mentioned this before to me as well. Or was this something that didn't run on the Pocket or something, and then you got it to run? Okay, let's yeah, we can have a look at some other Neo Geo stuff as well. I don't know, this isn't really my cup of tea, you know. It feels like It feels like the Neo Geo's version of Konami's Bells and Whistles, you know, something similar there. Yeah, instead of bells, you pick up pills, man. Pop the pill. And I am a giant tomato. Let me get the pill. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, wow, there's a lot of them there. Right, okay. Let's run another game. That was pretty manic, man. I like this game. I've always liked this game. The girls in my arcades were pretty handy in a fight. Okay, yeah. I'll be honest with you. When I was young, you rarely saw like a good-looking female in the arcades. You know, I don't know if I ever saw anything of this AI caliber, right? Not sure if I saw anything of that caliber. Occasionally you would see someone and it would be they brought their girlfriend down, or you know, they were bowling in that bowling part or whatever. So there were some, but I'm talking like specific arcade, you know, just arcades where you had nothing but arcade machines, no bowling, no air hockey, no family recreational things. You really got any women in there, but yeah, you know, it's just something kind of funny to have there. You know, I thought I like putting up random flashes of stuff on there, and this time I just asked ChatGPT. I just said to it, gorgeous blonde holding PCB, and that's what it gave me. And I was like, okay, oh, holding a PCB in an arcade, actually, that's the prompt that I gave it, and that's what worked out. So, oh yeah, so when I got older and went to the arcade, yes, the Dance Dance Revolution games, even my local arcade now, like, you know, there's a lot of girls, a lot of couples that go there to play the dancing game. So yeah, dynamic has changed slightly, and I do like my local arcade. I think it's a good game. So this is, I wouldn't say it's as good as Contra. I don't think you can shoot diagonals in this. I think you can only shoot up. I could be wrong. Okay, what we got? C button arm select. Okay. Don't know if that's going to be too loud now. We'll do it. Stop the Android. I really do like this game. I like the graphical style. I think I had this for the Neo Geo, you know. So no diagonal shots, like Metal Slug style, just up, forward. Can you shoot down? No, you can't shoot down either. You can't, like, you can only shoot up. You can't, if I'm moving the top corner, he just shoots left or right. So you have to be stationary when you're shooting up. Oh man, why couldn't I duck underneath that? Well, I did like this as well, actually. Your little ship here that you got. Interesting game. I like the enemies in this. The way the enemies look when you shoot them. You know. Oh wow, that one came running. Like they're kind of robots. Look like Terminator. Almost look like Terminator 2K2 there. Yeah, I think this game's good. It's never really spoken about much, but I like this game, man. I think it's a good game. Oh wow, I thought I jumped up there. Nice. Okay, let's run with something else. Find your cheap brats. Find your cheap brats at Starbucks. Yeah, I'm not really a Starbucks fan, to be honest. I don't really like buying coffee. I think that it's just overpriced. It's way overpriced. Right. Let's look at one more game and we'll kind of pop out from here. Let's try and. Do you know what was really good was Sengoku 3. I really thought that was I think that looks really, really good. Like on the Neo Geo, there wasn't a lot of really good kind of, you know, walk along beat 'em ups, right? There was a lot of good fighters, but not too many beat 'em ups. But I think Sengoku was one of the main ones. I really wanted a Neo Geo back in the day. Whenever I mentioned it to my parents, they were very tactful at avoiding the conversation, knowing the games cost hundreds each. I don't blame them. Yeah, it was expensive, man. It was an expensive console. So let's have a look at this. Like, good game, man. This is very, very... I always pick up the guy that looks like Sagat, but I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm going to go her. Like, how long have we been streaming for now? Oh, 1 hour and 5. I might end it in about 25 minutes, guys. I'm a bit tired-ish today. I should maybe just go to bed after and maybe play some Samurai Showdown 2019 with a friend of mine that we've kind of bought the game in. And that's a good game. It's the netcode is really, really good. Plays full 60 FPS on the Steam Deck. So, great game. I mean, looks really, really good. Looks really, really good on my PVM as well, man. Just popping my head down there. A 4-button beat 'em up. You know, you've got plenty of moves in this. Not that I'm giving you a good demonstration of all the moves. This would be a good game to kind of go through and complete. Look at that, turns into a log. Good stuff. Okay, let's go out Neo Geo and let's was Sengoku 2 better? Cool, let's have a quick look at that before we exit Neo Geo. I always go for free because it's like the latest one. So it's like, okay, it's the highest number. But hey, Streets of Rage 2 is better than free. So why can't the same rule not apply to a Neo Geo game, Sengoku? Wicked. Oh, the first, which was the first game you ever played? Was it that Cyberlip, yeah? Nice, if it was that. Wicked. Right, let's have a look at this. I enjoyed watching Video Game Esoterica's videos on Sengoku, man. It was good from what I recall. Graphics are definitely better in free, man. Oh wow, okay, that dragon is the one from Hayato's Journey. Wicked. Hayato's Journey by Master Lunake, a Mega Drive game, it's wicked, man. And there's assets for some of your favorite games in there, so... Okay, can't run in this one either. Nice cutting stuff in here, though. Oh, okay, that's just a special I've done there. Oh, I can change character, wicked. Again, looks better on a CRT than an LCD. Looking forward to getting my my new PC next year, you know. Look at that, I'm like, that looks like a Guken from the Street Fighter games. Awesome stuff. Bizarre game, weird lights, weird characters, weird stuff in this. Hey, what am I then? I'm a liger, I'm a tiger. Love the chopping in half stuff, man. Looks really cool. Okay, let's get out of Neo Geo. And let's run through a few arcade games. I'm glad you got... Yeah, man, I'm really happy I got it, man. The only thing is everything's a little bit squashed because it's PAL. Amiga runs fine on it. Anything else, yes, a little bit squashed. But for the whole part, I'm very, very happy with it. I'll keep it for now. I'm not sure when I get my new PC, I might have a little shuffle around and I might move it somewhere else away from my desk and just use it from time to time. So let's go to the bottom and have a look at stuff. So this was a game I played in the arcade. We watched the kind of a track mode for this. Alex Kidd, The Lost Stars. Is that actually a good game? For me, Alex Kidd was like Alex Kidd in Miracle World. That's always the best one for me. Also liked Alex Kidd in Shinobi World. That was a good game as well. That was a very good game, in fact, back on the Sega Master System days. But yeah, we can run the arcade version of that. Why not? Never saw it in the arcade. Yeah, never ever saw that game in the arcade. The only thing I can think is seeing it on like MAME ROMs list when I got into emulation on Final Burn, you know, stuff like Final Burn Neo or Final Burn Alpha. Okay, this one's a little bit of a weird one on the PVM. It's like it's not fully stretched out on all the sides. Maybe there's an issue with this coming out on a CRT, but because my one's a little bit squashed now, and this one is a side squashed, it actually looks like the correct aspect ratio. But wow, man, really have to say, I know we can simulate CRTs and everything, but having a look at CRT is just something else. Maybe it's just placebo as well. But in today's news video, they've made advances in like CRT simulation on screens with a high refresh rate. That looks really interesting. Not something I've tried out yet or anything there. But yeah, that was pretty mad, man. It sounds pretty mad. But yeah, this was a game I loved in the arcade because I was watching wrestling at the time, and these were the current wrestlers. So yeah, this was really good. So let's go with Alex Kidd now for Anime Otaku. All the way up to A. I'll put you to sleep with my $1 million dream. And The Lost Stars. Okay, I think I tried this on emulation. I've never bothered trying this on the MiSTer, I don't think. So it was really interesting as well. Now I've got my PVM on it. It's instant. When I press the core, everything always comes out quicker on the PVM than on my LCD display. But my LCD display is a low latency one. I have no issues playing on that. You know, it's fine. Very kind of happy-go-lucky soundtrack. Let me just turn it down a tad. So Anime Otaku, did you actually play this game back in the day or something? Or I can't even jump on the enemies then. I have to completely avoid them. Wow. Okay, yeah, this game's not for me. Oh, it's maybe I'll jump heavier. Wow. Should be able to jump on the enemies, man. Come on. And that's got to be game over. Right, I really don't want to insert the coin, even though it's not going to cost me anything at all. But while we're on the screen, guys, we're here to promote the message to support your local arcade, and let's try and save Brooklyn Games and Arcade. You can do so by buying a t-shirt where you get a t-shirt and a stickers branded for Brooklyn Games and Arcade. 1,600 of these sold, and the arcade can last another year. Okay, so 2 players. Interesting. Mrs. Alex Kidd. You can jump on each other's heads. Sorry, wrong button. I didn't mean to put another credit in. Okay, what shall we run next? Where does it stop? This is a good arcade game. I love this game. Used to play this a lot. Right, guys, what we got? I'm feeling a bit tired, so about another 15 minutes, and we'll kind of end the stream. So hopefully, guys, if you're enjoying this stream, you're watching this stream, if you haven't pressed that like button, please press that like button. More so than ever, I want this video to get noticed, and I want this video, I want people to be able to find this video, watch it, and just raise the awareness of, raise awareness that this, there's an arcade, it's closing, and anyone out there that wants to help preserve this arcade, help save this arcade, help this arcade to last longer, can do so by buying a t-shirt. So they get some goodies as well. And as well as that, it goes directly towards saving this arcade. And that's the whole point of this, stream. That's why we did it. Anyway, this is Bad Dudes versus Dragon Ninja. What I didn't know is Two Crude Dudes or Crude Busters was the follow-up to this. Really had no idea it was that. A friend of mine told me that, or I was watching a friend of mine's video and he mentioned that. So let's go to Cotton. So Cotton's on Sega System 16. I know Chris's Retro Gaming absolutely loves Cotton. I have to say, I really, really do like the one on the Sega Saturn. And if anyone noticed, the soundtrack that I used today on the weekly news video was actually Cotton from the Sega Saturn. I really like the soundtrack of the first level. I think it's great. I think it's absolutely great, and it's usually me repeating the same soundtrack in there. Yeah, I really like, much as I like this one, this is a cool one. I love the graphics for the Sega Saturn version, man, which it'd be nice to get an arcade core of that as well, but I really think the Saturn version is just fantastic, man. For me, like that one is the best Cotton game. I've also got like the modern, the 3D one. I think that one came out for the Dreamcast, and yeah, and they kind of released it for modern. Definitely, it was out for the PC. That's the version I got. I ended up getting it for free, but yeah, it's. Yes, I don't know, it just doesn't work well as a 3D game, at least not in that kind of capacity. I hate separate buttons for bosses, man. Sorry, not bosses, for bombs. You can see I'm tired, I'm confusing my words more than normal. Hey, it's that thing out of Monsters Inc. Haha, eyeball got me. Okay, I am dead. Oh, Neil Severa, how are you doing, man? How are you doing? Nice to have you on the stream. Finally got to jump in. Yeah, man, I'm a bit tired today, so I'm going to end it in about 10 minutes. But good to have you here. Hang around in the 10 minutes. And if you want to support the Brooklyn Games and Arcade, maybe grab yourself a t-shirt. And remember, if you wear this t-shirt, you are definitely going to get some hot ladies like this eyeing you up because you have an awesome t-shirt. And that buying that t-shirt supports the arcade, right? We're trying to get the arcade to last a bit longer. And they said they were going to go out of business, or they were going to close March 2025, and hopefully they can last up until March 2026. So, ooh, okay, that must have been, oh, IRM90. Okay, that must have been one I put on there manually. Very, very messy, my MiSTer setup, but most stuff's on there. MiSTer's like something very, very simple to use. So, guys, Neil Severa's awesome. He does some really good tutorials. In fact, he's done a very good MiSTer Pi tutorial, but I think he uses a Mac for that. So, specifically, if you're a Mac user, it's good. But I think you can benefit from that from being a Windows user as well. Bubble, man, this is like a good description of the arcade. Chris's Retro Gaming, absolutely, man. Let's get some cornbread, right? I always say it's cornbread. I know you guys say it's not cornbread. I think it's cornbread. And that's what Robocop says. Robocop says cornbread. He actually doesn't say that. He says drop it, actually. But it always sounds like cornbread. Right, are we gonna get the track modes for this? There is a good track mode for this. I just want the soundtrack as well. There's no sound. Oh, there is, but we want the beginning soundtrack. Let's turn that up a bit. Love this. This really is like one of the best arcades. You know, when you say the word arcade, a few games come to mind, and Bubble Bobble is definitely one of them. And the other game that comes to mind, whoops, is Cornbread. Should really just press R on my keyboard. But I always cover all my stuff with, so I cover, like when I'm not using my PC and my setup, I cover it up with like a sheet, because I just can't be bothered dusting all that stuff all the time. So putting a sheet on there actually prevents dust from building up in the first place. I don't have to do a lot of dusting. I've got one shelf that's not covered, and man, a lot of dust gets on there, man. It's unbelievable. Right, guys, this game, amazing. In the arcade, the movie, you know, this was the time when RoboCop was out. Everyone in school, we were kids. I was in, I think I might, yeah, I was in single digit numbers even when this was out. And yeah, man, like when someone had it in school, the tape went around and everyone watched it, man. This was wicked. Banging soundtrack. Hopefully it's not low. I'm gonna turn it up a bit. Let's hear him say Cornbread. Love the soundtrack for this. Yeah, see? He says drop it, but it sounds like Cornbread. Look at that violent beginning when they shoot him. That scared me as a kid, man. That affected me as a kid. What my parents doing? They let me watch all that violent. Okay, the buttons are the wrong way around. You can't get hit there. See? Cornbread. As long as you caught that first hit on the motorbike, you could then catch it. If you missed that first hit, when it jumped over you and came back down, you would lose some health. There wasn't around when these were being like released, when RoboCop was released. You know, when I got into MiSTer, RoboCop was there already. I was happy, but I can imagine like the excitement. You know, I would have loved to have been there when all this stuff was being released on, you know, weekly, you know, bi-weekly basis or whatever, whenever it got released, right? It would have been an amazing time waiting for Bad Dudes versus Dragon Ninja, CPS1, CPS2, RoboCop, you know, name a lot of the classic arcade games that I grew up playing. I still get that excitement with stuff like Sega System 18. What else was there? WWF Superstars, one that I was really looking forward to. So I did have some of that excitement, but when some people tell me when they were around, and you know, Ortega at that time was on fire, man, dropping so many chords. Get out of here. Thank you for your cooperation.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Oh, hey RoboCop, my friend invited me to my barbecue. What should I bring? Bring a MiSTer. Yeah, do you know what? I use my lunch money, man. So what me and my buddy Chris used to do is we used to, so I used to get, we were poor growing up, right? And we used to get like this voucher that you got, that the poor kids got, to get a free school meal. So what we used to do is, like, it was worth 70p, but we used to sell it to like the rich kids that used to buy their school lunch. So what we used to do is we used to sell it for like, say, 50p. So we used to have that, and then whatever pocket money we managed to scrape and everything there. So what we would do is we would go to the arcade with that. But what we used to do was Chris's house was very, we lived close to our school, me and my buddy Chris as well, but very close to Chris's house was a chip shop called Phil's Chip Shop, and they had a lot of arcade games in there. So what we used to do is we used to run to Chris's house and we used to make a sandwich. So whatever it was, you know, like, I don't know, cream cheese and ham, turkey slices, cheese, pickle, whatever was there, we used to eat that. And then we used to spend our lunch money on the arcades. But I tell you what, guys, like, am I crazy for thinking this, right? But when we were younger, when I was in school and we got that lunch hour, right? That lunch hour seemed to last ages. I was able to sell my lunch ticket, make it to Chris's house, have a sandwich, go to the arcade, play some games, and somehow still make it back on time after that hour. I just don't know. I don't know how we did it. And I see a similar kind of thing with my kids, where what happens is my kids are like, oh, Dad, can we play? And I'm like, look, we're leaving in like 4 minutes. They're like, yeah, I'll play. But I'm like, it's going to take you a minute to boot the thing up. It's going to take you another minute to find the game. Yes, fine, I'll play. And then they'll even get that 1 minute of play and they'll be like, I'm gone. So I think the way you kind of perceive time's different, because I remember my school lunch hour being able to get a lot done. I can't get all that stuff done if I'm taking a lunch hour at work. My previous job, there was no lunch hours or anything, man. It was just very, very free. I could do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do. My current job now, I kind of do need to take a lunch hour. If things are really hectic, then I kind of skip it and just grab, just eat whatever. But yeah, man, I do have that lunch hour at the moment. So let's run through some arcade games. But before we do, guys, just to give another shout, the reason for this stream is we are supporting Brooklyn Games and Arcade. And yeah, they, the business isn't, say, in its current state sustainable, or they can't go on with it. And, they're going to be closing their doors March 2025. But the reason we're doing this stream is if they manage to sell 1,600 of these T-shirts, they can run for another year. So they'll be okay until March 2026. And hopefully they won't close and they'll just keep going, because arcades are a magical place. I absolutely love them. I really wish we had women like that in the arcade, but honestly, we don't. But I'm too old now. I'm going back to my younger self. Oh man, oh Pixel, you're so amazing at Shadow Dancer. I brought you this PCB. Can you come back to my place and, help me set it up? I probably would have said, you know what, I'm really bad with hardware. I can't help you, love. Right, let's run a game. What's Neil Severa saying? On Saturdays, Mum would give me $5. And at the arcade, they had a special 40 token for 5. It was the best. Oh, wicked. So the arcades over here, we really had tokens, Neil Severa. We just put the coins in there. We did find a way that you could stick sticky foil on a 10p piece and it would act as a 50p piece. So we were able to 5x our money like that until we got caught by the arcade and got kicked out. But it lasted a long time. And there was a hardware store owned by like a Chinese family, and when these guys realized all the school kids were buying this sticky foil, they put their prices up. You used to get loads for £1, then for £1, like it used to be like, I don't know, like 25p a meter or something, very, very cheap. They put it to like £1 a meter, but it was still worth it buying it at that price. So yeah, still remember that. If anyone can tell you exactly where that hardware shop was, it was, if you go, for anyone that knows London well and North London well, if you were on Blackstock Road, the Seven Sisters Road's end, and you walked up Blackstock Road that way, a little bit further down, like a couple of minutes down on the left hand side, there was a hardware store. It was all red and it was run by like a Chinese family. That's where we used to buy this sticky foil from, man. It was amazing. So they obviously realized all the kids are coming here buying some stuff. Cost a small fortune. We used glue 2 times 5p together to make a fake pound coin. No, I never tried that one. I didn't know that actually worked, man. It was sticky foil with old 10p's. I actually missed the old 10p's. They were big. It actually felt like you had some money, Oh, let's have a look at Raki's course. So Raki has said recently that they're going to be releasing the Konami Bubble Core as a public release. It's currently only available on their Patreon, but this is good, Salamand. I'm a big fan of the Konami games, but one thing I hate about the Konami games is as soon as you lose a life, guys, like that is it. Like you lose all your power-ups and it's very, very difficult. And if you lose your power-ups at a very difficult part of the game, it's just very, very difficult to kind of get through that part where, you died. When you died, you had like 4 options. You had the missiles, you had like 2 things of speed, you had the laser. And then when you died, you end up just coming back and you've just got like the very, very basic bullet. And it makes the game very, very difficult, especially the part you're at. And honestly, often once I lose a life, I stop playing. I either have to complete the game with a whole life, which for the record, I've not been able to do so far. But, I just don't want to use that just brass up of a game, a brass up of a power up, like just very, very powerless, you know, can't do anything. So yeah, Salamander, fantastic. So this when I was playing this core, I was actually testing this core, getting early builds from Raki. I didn't realize it had vertical parts in it as well. Now for the whole part, I'm not a fan of the power-up system in this. You pick up the power-ups and you get them like you do in other games. I've always liked the manual banking system, you know, collect like the tokens and choose whatever direction you kind of want to power up. Choose choose the power-ups that you you want. So I've always preferred it that way. Mind you, you know, this game is good. Oh yeah, Neil Severo, I did see a tweet about that actually. The no-hit detection. Yeah, you can go through and cheat with it. That would be interesting. I'm not sure if Ortego's added cheats in there, but that's a good suggestion. Let's see if he takes you up on that, right? Because hey, you know, reason, but hey, you know what? This is a wicked game. So, guys, thank you very much for joining joining this stream, for talking, for pressing that like button. Always super appreciated, guys. So the purpose of the stream today was, first of all, I wasn't going to do a stream. I'm still feeling kind of tired now. I need one of those games where I'm chilling in bed playing a handheld until I pass out, which I'm telling you at the moment will be rather quick. So the reason that we did this was we got this kind of notice, and this was from the arcade. So the closing announcements from Brooklyn Games and Arcade. It is with regret that we announced the closing of our shop, Brooklyn Games and Arcade, this coming March 2025. And so that's from Steve, and just saying thank you for everyone, and hopefully we'll see you in the next few months. And when I saw that, I was gutted. Not that I've ever been there. I likely never ever go there either. I have no reason to go to the USA. But if I did, I'd go and visit as many arcades as I could. Then Aerial Aces kind of put this tweet out saying, look, we're not going to go down without a fight. And he does a lot of cool merchandise, and he does merchandise for the arcade. And he said, look, 70% of the proceeds for any sales regarding their t-shirts and the hollow effect stickers that you get will go towards the arcade. So they did the math. 1,600 of those will make the arcade sustainable for another year. So it will go till March 2026. And that's why I did this stream. Also, that's the t-shirt that you'll be getting, which is okay. Here we go. That looks a little bit better. So you get the t-shirt there, and as well as a t-shirt, you know, you've got the stickers that you can get. So what we've got here, that's part of the t-shirt there. The different stickers, 25 cents back when things were cheap. A quarter, you guys have got a quarter, 25-cent coin. We had a 20p coin here. Monetary wise, it might even be the same value, actually, our 20 and your 20. And there you go, you got a 100 yen sticker there. So, you know, you can get this cool stuff, and at the same time, you can have the good feeling that, you know what, you've actually spent some of your money to help an arcade stay in business, because I absolutely love arcades. I like going to them from time to time. For me, it's a very, very social place where I meet friends of mine, and we meet up, we play Street Fighter 3 First Strike, Super Turbo. I mainly play fighters in there. We might dabble, I might play Outrun 2 or something. So that's really it for this stream. Let me just read some of the chat. Moonwalk across the mats, the rubber bottom, wicked. Touching the metal, CoinGate would earth the static and give you a credit. Oh, okay, you know what? I need to ask you something here, Scandal. So, do you remember like, okay, so you know you got your gas cooker and you got the button on it that ignites it. But if you don't have the button that ignites your gas cooker, right? You have you had those kind of lighters. It had like two like little rods on it. And when you pressed it, there was like a little bit of lightning, like a blue charge that came in between. I don't know how this kid, what he tried or what he done, right? But the WWF arcade game where you could get a maximum of 99 credits, he put that on like the key chamber, and he pressed click, 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 click. And the credits would just go up to 99. And I remember in Phil's chip shop, Phil must have been thinking the kids are going crazy with this today. Everyone was around that game and played it, and he was proper annoyed because he realized the kids done something or cheated it somehow. But I never worked out how that worked, and I ended up getting a clipper and trying it on different arcade machines, and it wouldn't work. It only worked in that one instance. So yeah, that was really, really interesting. I have to say, I was kind of blown away by that. Obviously, when you're kids and you get free credits, man, it's amazing. It's probably, at the time, it was probably better for me than getting free candy, because hey, you know what, you can't get diabetes from playing arcade games unless you sit down and play them and keep eating candy. But yeah, we took the end off, got credits with those. Oh, wicked, man. So you know about that tactic, man. Love it. But guys, that's it. I'm going to go out. I think I need to chill a little bit tonight. Maybe when I say chill, I'm going to be lying in bed and I might play Sam Show 2019 with a friend of mine. But that's it, guys. Hopefully this has raised some awareness about this arcade, and hopefully some of you guys that are in a good financial situation or in a good financial place, you know, might want to get yourself a goodie, a t-shirt, some stickers in order to support this arcade. You know, I'm nowhere near it. Some of you guys maybe nowhere near it, but it's important to see this stuff. They might do tournaments, we might get some good events there. But guys, that is it. Be super awesome to one another.